Hello aspirants, welcome to EduRev, your learning partner. I am Gogula Rajashekar and I will be teaching you our Indian economy for UPSC examination. Briefly about me, I have appeared twice in the UPSC interview out of my 4 attempts and I have an experience of 3.5 years as a faculty member and mentor in various institutions of Delhi. I am an engineer from IIT Bhubaneswar and a patent holder in artificial intelligence. This is our first video lecture on Indian economy series for UPSC. Previously, in our introductory classes, we have understood the relevance of economy for UPSC and we have also seen the contents of the economy. In this particular video, we are going to understand some basics of the economy such as what is economics, what is economy and different types of economy and economics. Alright, so let us begin. First and foremost, let us understand what is economics. Economics is a Greek word which comprises of two words oikos and nomos. Oikos means an household, which is the smallest unit of an economy, and nomos means a law. So together economics is the law of household. So for what purpose? For managing the scarce resources. Therefore economics is a branch of social science which studies the rational use of the scarce resources, and it mainly concerned with production, distribution and consumption of goods and services. Clear? Now, so what it studies? It studies the economic behavior of economic agents such as what is the behavior of the producers, what is the behavior of the consumers and how the market behaves based on the producers and consumers and others, etc. Okay, it is broadly classified into three branches. One is macroeconomics, microeconomics and finally mesoeconomics. In the next slide, we are going to understand what is the meaning of macro, micro and mesoeconomics and their relevance. Clear? Let us go ahead. So here, first and foremost, let us understand the dictionary meaning of macro, micro and meso. See, if you go by the dictionary, macro means large and micro is the opposite of large, which is small, and in between small and large there is meso. Clear? So therefore macroeconomics, as we have studied economics, studies the behavior which is economic behavior of individuals or the firms. Therefore macroeconomics studies the behavior which is economic behavior and the decision making of economy as a whole. This as a whole is very important because of this whole part it becomes complete. That means if you are going to study the economic behavior of a particular area, a block, or it may be a district, or it may be a state, or it may be a country such as India itself, or the world altogether, such a economics we generally call it as macroeconomics. Alright, now coming to the microeconomics. Micro means small. So what is the smallest unit of the economy? It is the individual person. So if the economic studies about the individual behavior or the firms such as the smallest units like households or a company, then such an economics we generally call it as microeconomics. So you can say at the lowest level of the economy, what is the economic decisions and behaviors of the individuals. Clear? Now in between there is an intermediate level which we generally call it as mesoeconomics, which is the new branch. So here it studies the institutional behavior of the economy. So a mesoeconomics, it captures whatever the information that has not been covered by the micro level and macro level. So to sum up, micro means at the lowest level, which is individualistic. Then meso means at the intermediary, where there will be a block level, where we will be looking at a particular firm or a particular industry. For example, we can take electronic industry or automobile industry as a whole and we can study about that industry and the behavior of that industry. Clear? It is the intermediate level. Now if you take all such industries and other activities and as a whole if you study the economic behavior, then we call it as macroeconomics. Clear? So after knowing this economics, let us understand what is economy. See, economy is the social activity of the people. So there it is the behavior of the people, that is the study of the behavior of the people is economics, whereas the activity of the people particularly with respect to production, trading, consumption of goods and services, we call it as economy. Clear? So there is the active intervention between the different agents of the market such as consumers and producers. Such interplay we call it as what? Economy. So economy is all about the interplay of the economic agents. Why does they interplay? In order to fulfill their needs, particularly with respect to the scarce resources which we have talked in the economics. And broadly this economy is classified into capitalistic economy, socialistic economy and mixed economy, which we are going to learn in the next slide. Clear? So the basic difference between economy and economics is economics studies the economic behavior of the individual or the firms or an institution, whereas economy is the interplay between the different people or different agents of the market such as consumers, producers or the market itself, etc. With this idea, let us understand what are different types of economies which are practiced in the world. Alright. See, all the economies, they can broadly classified into these three categories. One is capitalistic economy, socialistic economy and finally the mixed economy. So first and foremost, before knowing what is the meaning of them, we will have to understand certain aspect which is known as free market. See, free market is that market where the market is purely driven by the forces of the market. So what are the forces of the market? These are nothing but demand and supply, right? Which we are going to understand in the further classes. Broadly now you understand this as supply means what is provided by the producers. So that is, it is from the producer side. Demand means what is demanded by the consumers. That is, if there is a person, what this person needs and how this person is provided the need, that the good or the services, how it is being produced, produced by the producers. So such thing we generally call it as supply. Now the second need is to understand the role of the government, that is the government intervention. Right? So based on this, we'll try to understand what is capitalistic, socialistic and mixed economy. So first, moving on to the capitalistic economy, if the role of the government is zero, that is the government is not at all playing any role and the market is completely driven by the forces of the market, that means the market is completely free in order to choose what to produce and whom to produce and how to produce, then such an economy we generally call it as capitalistic economy or free market economy. So the same word, free market or capitalistic, both are same. So in such an economy, if the government is not taking the decisions, then who will take? Obviously it will be taken by the private individuals or the firms. So here the private individuals takes the decisions with respect to production, consumption and distribution. Clear? So such an economy we generally call it as capitalistic economy. The best example is USA's economy and other Western nations economies. Clear? So this is first. Now moving on to the second one, which is socialistic economy. Here there will be intervention of the government, not just the active intervention but complete monopoly will be there. So what does it mean? In the economy, the government will take all the decisions pertaining to production, consumption, distribution and redistribution, and it also decides what to produce and whom to produce and how to produce. So all these decisions will be taken by this government. Such an economy we generally call it as socialistic economy. So here, suppose take this person is the government now and this person is the consumer and here it is the producer. Now this person needs some good, then that good, even though it is not produced by the government, what it will take is it will take it from the other person who is producing and it will give it to this person. So this sort of economy is mainly practiced in socialistic nations in order to bring equality and reduce inequalities with respect to rich and poor. Alright, the best examples are China and USSR earlier, now it is Russia after the disintegration. So this is the best example. Clear? So here there will be complete monopoly with respect to not only the economy but also even the forces of the economy. Even the labor is also has impact of the government. It has to obey the government. Clear? Now going to the third category, which is mixed economy. Here the government will take active role with respect to the economy and it will engage both the public, that is the government, and other people, also the private sector. So it will, as a master chef, it will mix to what extent there will be involvement of the private sector and there will be involvement of the public sector in order to have a healthy economy. So a government here, it will be taking an active role in managing the decisions with respect to economy, such as the production, consumption and distribution and redistribution, and what to produce and whom to produce and how to produce. All these decisions will be taken by the government along with the private sector. Such an economy, we generally call it as mixed economy. The best example is India. Clear? So in order to sum it up, let me draw a line. See, on this line there are two extremities with respect to the government involvement. That is one extremity where there is no role at all of the government, and on the other extremities there is 100% monopoly or the complete role of the government, and in between there is an intermediate point where both private and public sector is actively managed by the government in order to bring the balance. So the right extremity we call it as socialistic economy, left extremity we call it as capitalistic economy, and in between we call this sort of economy as mixed economy. I hope this is clear. If you have any doubt, do comment and we will get back to you. Thank you very much.